So Nayef Alomar will talk to us about, well, what's the title of your presentation to be exact? Cloud
computing.
Cloud computing.
Cloud storage file management folder sharing model. I'm going to introduce a model for teachers and instructors how to share contents for students and for classes.
So a very timely presentation when we look at the iPad and the mobile learning projects that we are involved in right now. So please give it up for Nayef Alomar.
Thank you very much for coming and taking some time from your busy days. My name is Nayef Alomar, and I would like to introduce to you as cloud storage file management. It's a model I've been working on for, I have been using for the last 2 years in my teaching at UGRO and somewhere else in my external projects where I taught before. Okay, what motivated me to use this model is there were two things. The first thing was 3 semesters ago I was involved in an external project at Tawazun. Tawazun is a government company where they manufacture weapons, and we were running a program there, vocational rehabilitation for their new employees. Okay, I was assigned there to teach IT. And these students are older students, returning students who many of them never finished 7th grade or 8th grade, maybe sometimes some of them finished 10th grade. And I was meeting them once every week for 2 hours or 3 hours, and I give them assignments and some work to do. When I come next week, nothing is done. Okay, then teacher, can we do it next time? Then I wait the next week, some of them do it, some of them don't do it. So I have been introduced to Dropbox by somebody, and I downloaded it and installed it, and I got an idea of sharing, making a folder for each student where they can drop their work anytime, because I only meet them once every week. Okay, so if I wait until the next week, maybe they will not do it. But if I come and see them on Monday, for example, and they don't have it, and I ask them, okay, you can do it today by midnight or something like that, maybe they will do it. Anyway, I created a folder for each one of them. I had about 30 students, and it worked well. It improved the situation. So I started getting more contents, okay, more than I get in normal class. Okay? Because once you tell them this today, they're still thinking about it, they might do it. But if they wait until they say, well, we'll bring it next week, on next Monday, they will forget about it. That was last fall, fall 2011. Then another situation when the iPad project started here, and our IT program went through dramatic restructuring and changed dramatically. We changed from traditional teaching, teaching office, using PCs, into teaching using the iPad and mobile learning. And our assessment procedures have changed dramatically also, where now we have group work and individual work, and lots of contents to be worried about. So I thought about this system. I thought that I need every day to give the students some materials. So I need something to share, some place where I can put the material in. So that's the first type of sharing I thought about. The second type of sharing, I need an individual folders where students individually can give me their homework, their whatever is related to them for assessment and stuff like that. And one more type of sharing was for group work, because group assessment is about 40% of our class assessment. So I created the third type of sharing, which is group folders. And I will show you here the structure. So my presentation will go as follows. Okay, what will this model, what are the functions of this model? Okay, I will show you my Dropbox folder sharing model, how it's structured. We'll see how the teacher's view of the sharing structure, how do I view it as a teacher. And it will involve my Dropbox folder sharing structure, how to implement it, detailed device view, how does it look on the device. Then we'll see the student view of the file sharing structure, and I will give you some Dropbox tips. I have been using Dropbox for the last 1 year extensively, and I have seen a lot of things which nobody expected with a cloud computing service. Okay, we think it's very easy, just drop your file and it's instantly there. It's actually not instantly there, it depends on many things. Okay, if you use it a lot and when your the size of your disk is very big, then lots of things you have to worry about. Then managing your storage places on the iPad with iFiles. Then I will show you a model here where you can use iFiles and put all your storage places. One of them is Dropbox. You could have also Google Drive. You could have also your the system in the university here, using WebDAV, your desktop, your drives at the university, all in one place in a program called iFiles. Like I told you, like I mentioned before, the structure of the folders, the functions, they have 3 functions. According to this, then I built 3 types of folders. The first one, content sharing for whole class and the teacher. Content sharing for whole class and the teacher. Before we get into this iPad, we had this concept into iPad project. We had the concept here at Ogro. We had some Drive X, where we call it X on the PC, where we give the contents to the teacher, to the students, and we have a W Drive where we get the students homework or exams or something like that. So I just kind of simulated that on the iPad here. So the first one is a content sharing for a whole class and the teacher. It's a folder where you put whatever you want to give to the students in your class. You put it during the class, you put it when you are at home, whenever you put it before the class. And the student at the same time also, because it's a democratic sharing, which means the teacher does not control, he's not the owner, nobody is an owner here, okay? The students can put, I can put, everybody, so there is a type of collaboration here, okay? The second type of sharing is called content sharing between group members and the teacher. Between group members and the teacher. As I said before, our teaching now requires groups who are working on group projects. Then these members must collaborate with each other, because students, no matter what you tell them, they will never meet outside the class and do things for their projects. Okay, so that type of folder will support the students to collaborate when they are not together. Okay, put contents, and hopefully when they are in class or when they meet, they put these things together. And there's a third type, which is content sharing between each individual student and the teacher. You also need a folder, because some of our assessment depend on individual students. We have homeworks for individual students. We have tests and many things. These contents can be dropped in this type of folder. Okay? Any questions so far? Okay. We'll go to see the structure here. The color is not good. At the top, you would create. That's the structure I made. You can structure it the way you want it, but this is a created folder, student sharing folders. Okay, then under that you will have these 3 types, which I just mentioned before. Student shared folder, group shared folders, and whole class shared folders. Okay, and then under individual student shared folder, you will have 4 folders because I have 4 classes. If you have 3 classes, then you would have what? You would have 3 folders, okay? And under the group shared folder, same thing. You will have 4 classes because I have 4 classes. If you have 3 or 2, you will have 2 only. And same thing under whole class shared folders. You will have 4. I will have 4 since I have 4 classes. Anyway, why did I color some of them? I colored yellow and the others blue. The yellow folders is just a folder you create for the to organize your subfolders, which you will see in the next page now. Okay. The blue folders are really shared folders. The blue folders are really what? Shared folders. Here at this level, for the class shared folder, you just need 1 folder for each class. So you will share this folder with the whole class, which is about 20 students. You will share this one, this one, this one, the same thing. So when you go into your structure and you put anything in any of these folders, it will the class members will see it. Okay, but up to here, you still have to subdivide these down, make sub-shared folders under this, okay? And that's we will see in the next page. I just picked one from the top there, and according to my class, individual folders you have, this is not shared, this is part of the structure. These are shared, okay? Student 1, student 2, until the last student, which is student 18 or 19 or 20 or whatever. Each one of these folders, you will share it with only one person, who is the student. So anything is dropped in any one of these, only the teacher and the student will see it. And this functions as to drop homeworks and stuff like this. This one here, though, it will be shared between the group members and also the teachers. The group members will put any contents related to the project here in this one. Okay? And you might think now this is too much, right? This is too much work. It's actually very easy. And you can finish it in the first class of your semester. I only do it in 1 class, and it's better to do it in the class, not outside the class, because you can never trust the students when you send them sharing to reply or to do something. Many of them will just not know how to do it, or will forget it, or something like that. The way I do it, it's not important who starts the sharing in Dropbox. There is no owner. I can start the sharing as a teacher. Any member of the group can start the sharing and can invite the rest of the people to share. Okay, so these 4, I create myself in the class, and I share it with all the students by writing their Dropbox username, which I force the student, which I make the student to make it their UAE ID number. So for naming convention, which is very familiar to me and to the students. So I make 4 of them, and I share each one of them. Each one of these, I share it with 20 students. In the class, it takes me about 10 minutes to finish sharing this. And in another class, same thing. So I initiate the sharing here. But when it comes to initiating the sharing with these, it's too much for me to do it. For each class, you have to do it 20 folders. So I tell the students, for example, to create a folder in their Dropbox and invite me. I'm the only one who will be invited to these folders, individual folders. And this can be done in 5 minutes, all the folders for the students. Same thing for this. I ask one of the group members to make a folder and invite the rest of the group members and invite me. Then in 5 more minutes, these are created. The whole structure is, you can create it in 1 hour in class. Any questions so far? Anybody wants to? Okay. Implementation of the file sharing structure. Okay. Like I just talked about some of it in a minute. You create you create yellow folders in your Dropbox using proper naming convention, like I did there. Then using proper naming convention. The naming convention I use usually with the classes and stuff like that. I use their ID numbers. I use the CRN. I use the the section number and so on to make it familiar with me. Okay. For the whole class folders, I create your section blue folders, 4 of them. Share each blue folder with all the students in each class. For group folder, ask one of the students in each group to create a folder. Ask same students to invite the rest of the group members and the teachers to the created folder. For individual folders also, like I mentioned, ask each student in the class to create a folder with a proper naming convention. Ask each student to invite the teacher to the created folder. Once the teacher or student receives the invitation, that's one thing. Once I receive the invitation from a student, or the student receive an invitation from another student or from me, they have to accept the invitation. Once they accept the invitation, that means the folder will show in their Dropbox or in my Dropbox. Okay, here I will show you the detailed device view of what it looks in my device, the system. Okay, here. This is how it looks, upper level. Classes, shared folders. That's the upper level. The yellow folders, which you saw in the diagram there. I have classes shared folders. I have individual shared folders. I have student group shared folders. Under each one of them, I have subfolders, 4 subfolders, because I have 4 classes. Okay, if you have 3, then there will be 3 of them only. As you can see, I use a proper naming convention, which if I look at it, I can see which section, what time, and so on. This is the first section number, then CRN, that's the time, and ST, for example, Sunday, Tuesday. So it's very easy for me, whatever information I have about the class, to see where I am. So that's the upper level in the hierarchy. Okay, but in the classes shared folders, these 4 are actually shared. Okay, in the down the hierarchy, I have here class group folders, class and group folders. This is the class folder. You saw part of it. You saw it in the first one. And this is group folders. As you can see, for each class, I have 5 or 6 groups. Sometimes it depends on the size of the class. Our groups run between, they are usually 3 students, but sometimes they go down to 2 students. Sometimes I merge 2 groups together. When students drop out, they become 4. So for each group, as you can see, I have a folder here. This folder is shared for this group. I call it group 1, which is in section 650. That's the CRN, and that's the time. It's very easy for me to know where, and the contents will be dropped for group work, will be dropped in any one of these. When I go to any folder here, I know which class, I know which group. I even know a lot of more information from Dropbox. The time, I know a lot of events about what the student did, when, how many times they edited, when they edited, when they deleted a file, because it's very easy for anybody from the group members to edit files, to delete files. Okay, to delete any files. So I have to keep reminding the students all the time to not to move or delete files, okay? Because sometimes they don't realize the difference between move and copy. So they move it, but a move is a delete. So the file is deleted and the other members cannot see it again. But all this information, with Dropbox, I can see it. I can see all the events. So if I go to events, for this semester I have more than 2,000 events, which happened in my group folders. The next one here is, I have 4 sections. These are the individual folders. Okay. Each folder is shared between me and one student here. So any homework for individual students can be dropped in one of these folders here. These are 2 sections, and these are other 2 sections. Then the next one is the student view. How does a student view this from their perspective, from their Dropbox? It's very simple structure for the student. For the student, they can build this structure, which is an upper level shared folder. Under that, he makes one folder for IT, and under that, this is each student. For me, for my class, must have three folders. One for my teacher, one my class, and the other one is my group. And if the other classes, they can be structured under other functions, other folders. What do I like about this structure? I really like this structure and made my life very easy, because first of all, it's familiar. It is what? Familiar. It's similar to what we know in Windows, similar to what we know in just folders, creating folders like you create folders in Windows. Okay, hierarchical structure. So, and it's just in time learning. You learn whatever you need in time. Okay, and you get just enough. And just for me, the things that you get, they are just personal. It is a mobile learning system and cloud-based. It is an ubiquitous, pervasive, omnipresent, available everywhere for you at any time. During the class, outside the class, at night, whenever a student have 10 minutes to waste, they can just, if they have their iPad or if they have iPhone, they can look at it. It's also private, as I mentioned before. It's also informal. This type of learning is informal. It's not like in a class you have to hand in homework. You can hand in it at your own time. Okay, whenever your mood is good. Okay. Traditional e-learning systems are complex. Usually, these things, you can find them in traditional e-learning systems, and there are many components which support these things. But I think, for example, what do you call it? Blackboard and Moodle, and especially Blackboard, I think it's very complicated for teachers, us. How about the students, to go to these components and use them? Spontaneous, context aware. You may learn with your device regardless of where you happen to be. And it's also informal, no obligations at all. I can stop now if you have any questions. Anybody? You want to? I have some tips about Dropbox, which I experienced during my 2 years of using it. Okay, you create an account with Dropbox.com using a valid email and a password. Okay, to get the most of Dropbox, you should download Dropbox app on your own personal device. You can use Dropbox without downloading Dropbox into any device. You can use it from the internet. But that will be time consuming for you, because it will not be easy for you to manage your files. you will be downloading and uploading files. For example, if you have a folder which has 50 files or 1,000 files, for example, which means you have to make 1,000 upload, or maybe zip the folder to make it one file. So one way or another, you should make it available, or you should download Dropbox into your personal PC. Okay, personal. I see personal because there is no password to enter to this folder after you download it, so you don't want anybody else to go into it. Okay, so you don't want to download it into a shared PC. Okay. You get free space when you first register at 2 giga, which is very small, but you can increase it in many ways. By inviting, for example, friends to Dropbox. Every time you invite somebody, you get an extra half a gig. You can collect about 20 giga that way, up to 20 giga, not more than that. But anybody who you invite must also download the Dropbox into their PC. It's not enough for them to make an account, and they should not have an account originally. If they have an account, it's not acceptable. Also, I just noticed recently, I bought a Galaxy Note. I got an extra 50 giga free, which is a big size, for 2 years. Now I have about 70 giga, okay, which is bigger than any hard. I mean, you never need to use that before, more than that. Like I mentioned in one of my points, sharing is uncontrolled by any specific member. Every member can delete, rename, do whatever they want. So it's a democratic sharing system. You have a lot of challenges with synchronization when your files get bigger. Okay, when your size of files get bigger, over 10 giga or 20 giga. We have the impression usually that's instant. Once you drop that file, it's gone. Yesterday I put by mistake, I added from my desktop to my Dropbox folder, I added a file, a video file, which is the one I might show it to you if we have time here, which is about 1 giga of size. It's a big size. I mean, I don't know why the net was very slow. It was like less than 100 kilo per second, and it was telling me it's going to take 7 hours to synchronize this one. So I just left it and I went to sleep. I found it synchronized in the morning. So these things, it's not instant because our normal file sizes are small, but if we have extreme circumstances like this, files are big, then synchronization become a problem. And you have to realize that when you want to put something from your desktop to your Dropbox, or from another desktop to your Dropbox, so you have to multiply the size by 2 actually. First of all, it has to go to the main server by net, of course, main server, which is Dropbox server, and also the same content will have to go down to your personal devices. Like you probably downloaded the Dropbox on one or more personal devices. So it's 2 times copying actually. Okay. Same thing with email. If you do email, like it also takes same thing, but we don't realize that. Like I mentioned, multiple devices challenges also. When you synchronize a file, it will be synchronized into all your devices, unless you disable synchronization for certain folders or for certain files in certain devices, which I do sometimes because I have I put my Dropbox on 3 devices, so one of the devices I don't synchronize everything to it, so just to save time. And also, like I mentioned, also big file sizes are a big challenge in this thing. That's for Dropbox. The Dropbox by itself on the iPad is good, and you can do whatever you want. But you also have many storage places other than Dropbox. For example, for me, I have storage places on the Ogre server. I also use Google Drive. There's another service called Box. There are many services which you can add. Many of them give you free storage, 5 or 7 or 10 giga free. So you want to make some kind of table, some kind of a window, like my computer, where in my computer, what do you have? You have a C drive, you have the D drive. Same thing here. You need to do that on the iFiles. To manage your files on the iPad, you need a program like iFiles. Okay, I will show you iFiles here, what I have here in iFiles. As you can see, here I have home. Anything you store inside home, that means it's stored in your hard disk, stored physically on the iPad, on the 32 giga that you have in your iPad, or 64, whatever it is. Okay. Here is my Dropbox. I also attached it to iFiles. I have I can access my Dropbox through iFiles. Also, there is another service called Box. So I don't have much in it, but I have it in my iFiles. Also, when you purchase an iPad or when you open an account with iPad, you have an iCloud, which they give you 5 giga for storage. You can use it for storage, but not much for sharing, though. I mean, only sharing pictures on the PC, not on any other devices like Galaxy or anything. Okay, you cannot share files like you are sharing on Dropbox. This is the Ogre system, the Ogre servers here. I can access my Ogre server from here. This is my Z drive on the Ogre server. This is my desktop on the Ogre server. So I can see everything from here and manage it if I want to. And I also have my Google Drive files, which I use my Google Drive sometimes for survey, for document, to teach students, whatever I use it for. To add any of these, it's very easy actually. You just press on the plus. If you are adding a Dropbox, you just choose the Dropbox. Here's the box, here's the Google Drive. And if you are adding the the Ogre server, I think you have to use the FTP here. You have to use the FTP for Ogre server. And you write the server name. And you just enter your username and password and nothing else. Then you will have it, you will have access to your server. Here is just a view of what I just showed you here. And that's the end of my presentation. I will end it with a joke which reflects the topic and the weather we are having in Al Ain. So I will accept any questions if yes. Yes.
Anybody being able to alter things, and you mentioned that you dealt with it by educating the students. How effective was that? Did you still end up with problems of files going missing or people shifting them onto their own desktop?
You know, I expected the same thing that you just said before, and I met many of the teachers who I showed them this model, And they mentioned the same thing that you just mentioned now. Anybody can delete it, no control. The teachers should control. But that's what we are trying to get away from, teachers' control. Okay, it happens, problems happens, and we want problems to happen. I mean, if problems don't happen, that means we're not doing anything. But if you are asking me, did it happen a lot? No, it did not. Because every class, if I counted, I cannot remember 3 times where a student or 4 times student in all my sections did it. They did it by mistake. I always ask them when I distribute to the X folder, for example, to the whole class folder, give them contents, they want to move it to their personal space. They want to copy it. But sometimes they use a Dropbox itself, and Dropbox does not have a copy. You can only move. And they move it. They don't realize that moving is deleting. It happened about 3-4 times in the whole last 3 months, 2 months and a half. Not much. It's not very important, I think. Yes.
It is important for you to keep a master copy of everything you put in the students' folders.
Of course. I always keep a master. I give them time to submit homework, for example. They have to give it to me by Monday, which is yesterday. I don't start taking the master copy until the end of the week. I give them chance. Okay. And anyway, I will know. I tell them Monday. I will know if they did it after Monday, because if I have my Dropbox here, there is a log of events there where it showed me each student what they have done for the last 6 months at least. So I have a way of knowing. But I usually at the end I collect these things and put them somewhere else where they cannot see it, outside the shared space. Yes.
A simple question maybe. If I'm holding this course about rainy weather, and I did it last year, and I want to save this communication with the students and then start it again for this year, how do you do that?
I'm not sure if I understood. Could you repeat this?
I teach this course, say, every year.
This course, one course, any course, yes.
Course, every year. And then at the end of each year, I want to close that file, that folder with all the communications, everything, and start again.
Yes.
How do you save these old ones?
How do I save all these old ones? Like I mentioned, you want to save it on your PC, for example? On your PC, you should, when you make an account with Dropbox, you should download Dropbox itself. Down there, when you download the Dropbox, you will have everything in Dropbox like any folder you have on your desktop. It's a folder. You just, whatever from the root of your directory, copy, paste on your desktop. It might take time, 6 hours, 7 hours, it depends how big are your tree of files, but that's how you save it. Yeah, just normal, it's very familiar structure, yes.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
If you want to give the course next semester, what you do? Just make copy for these files, or you repeat the process again?
Repeat it again, because doing it, I did it last semester and I did it this semester. I find out that just doing the same copy and paste is not enough. Anyway, I have to go inside each one of them and delete their homework, because they're not going to be the same. There are a lot of differences.
Yeah.
And even the contents are going to be different, you know. What we did, yes.
But, you know, it's not practical just to repeat things every semester, but it will be very practical if you can copy for main things and just change names or whatever.
Yes, as I said, I thought about it. Just copy and paste. I found that doing it is easier for my case. For my case, is easier than copying it.
Another question about assessment. Is it possible to make assessment online quizzes and tests using this system, this model?
No, this is only for content collection, homeworks, sending. Assessment, this is not for assessment.
No, thank you very much.
Assessment, if we are talking about assessment, we have many other apps which we use. Nearpod, we have many. We have a CGE system there. We have many ways of doing that. So this is just one component of the learning process that we are going through in our course. Yeah.
Just one small question, please. For example, if at the end of the semester, if you delete all the folders or delete the permissions, that will do you can keep the other stuff for next semester, for example? If you create folders this semester, by the end of the semester, you just delete the students' folders and recreate another ones, and you keep the original for you.
Like she asked the question, I would back up. I backed it already up by starting from the root directory, okay, from the root folder. I copy the root folder to my desktop. This is outside Dropbox. I even can copy it to Dropbox itself, outside the sharing area, okay? And then I can delete it. When I delete it from my side, that doesn't mean it's deleted from their side. They can delete it anytime. I cannot delete it from when you delete from your side, it does not get deleted from their side. And if I delete it from my side, they think I still have it. They might put whatever they put. I'm not sharing with them. And it can show to the other members that I'm not sharing anything with them.
No,
I hope that answers.
For the Dropbox, I mean, when you create folders, now, by the end of the semester, you want to give the permissions, take the permissions from them, so they are not allowed to share the folders with you, right?
There's no permission thing here. There is nothing about permission. Which permission?
I mean, sharing permissions.
There are no permissions here. Like I told you, it's a free sharing.
No, I mean, when you create the folder, the shared folder, how you allow the students to share these files over the Dropbox?
When they send me an email, I get an email, or inside my Dropbox, I get a message. Do you want to share? I say yes. If I don't want to share, I say no. But when I delete, there's no permission. There's no permission to delete. I don't know if I understand your question again. There's no permission to delete.
Thank you.
It's deleted. I just go delete it. It's gone.
It's hard to interpret what you mean, but I think, or at least that would be a question for me. If you have folders and you have invited students, that means that students, even when they're not in your class anymore, if I understood it correctly, will always have access to this Dropbox. Or does it mean that you create a folder, invite people to share it, and if you create a new folder next semester for a new class, you will invite a new set of people to only share this one folder, not the myriad of folders that might have been accumulated by now?
Yes,
I think that's how normally
I create a new folder. New members. I'm one of the members. You know, I just deleted the old one. I just get rid of it. Get rid of the whole thing.
When you delete these files, will they delete it from the student's file, Dropbox?
Yes, the files will be deleted. When I delete the folders, the files will be deleted also from the students. From the student side, let me think. I don't think they will be deleted. The files themselves, like I told you, if you delete, you are sharing a folder. You have folder here with you as a member, another one as a member. If I delete this folder here, the folder does not get deleted at the student side. Okay, but if you go inside your folder here and you delete a file, it will be deleted from the other folder. But if you delete the whole folder here and it has the files, I don't think it will. I never looked at, but if you delete a folder, it will not delete their folder. But I'm not sure if it will delete, it will keep their files or not. But what I'm sure of, if you delete a file from the folder here in your Dropbox, it will be deleted there. Because I never went to a student who just left the class, and I asked him how to see what's inside their folder there. But that's the only thing I know. But even though they still have the shared folders, you know, they know it's written on their folder. I'm not sharing with them anymore. It's for them. It's only a folder shared with themselves and whoever else other than me, that folder. Next semester, I create a new set of folders. You ask me a question here, why don't you copy? There were two concerns about copying the same structure. Okay, one concern, things are different. The other one is this concern, I don't want to get into a mess of all the students maybe sharing the new students or something like that. I was not sure about the process. Yes.
Okay, while I'm walking over them, I have a feeling it's hard to grasp the concept by just looking at a slide. So maybe you would volunteer to co-teach a workshop on Dropbox for people who are interested.
When I looked at this presentation, I thought I would finish it in 20 minutes or something like that, you know. Then I would go for practical, you know, just to try to make some type of structure, small structure, which you can see better than that. But I'm glad, I'm willing to do any workshop on this, whenever, anytime.
Yeah, we can send out an invitation. We can put it on a schedule and see for people who really want to try this out hands-on to actually see how it works in the lab environment. Or
I can last minute. I know the time. What time is it now? It's almost finished. I can show you, just show you the structure, how it looks in reality here. Not creating anything. This is my Dropbox, I think. I have everything in my life. I have it here. I mean, other than pictures, you know, not only UAE University. This is iTechnology, our course. And inside of it, these are the shared folders. And this is the root directory here, student sharing Spring 2013 shared folders. This is the root of the directory. As I told you, we have 3 types of sharing. This folder, others for other things, it doesn't matter. Class shared folders are only 4. We have other things, no, not important. They are called X drives, 4 sections. I will go to one section. Okay, this is in one section. I have all these contents. All my class can see this contents. Second class, they have contents. Also, all my class can see this contents. Some other teachers ask me why you're doing, for each class, why you're doing a folder. You can make, since it's the same class, make one folder. It's up to you. You can do that. I mean, but for me, sometimes there's some type of personalization with each class. You know, I want to add some more things. I don't want to give some things. You know, so it doesn't take much time for me to do it. So why not make one for each class? And these are the individual folders, as you can see. For each section, there is an upper folder, and inside this section, we have all these shared folders. If I open any one of these, I can find their work. Some of the students have this work. Okay, go back to the groups. I have 4 sections again. In this section, I have 4 groups. I will go to this group. Here is what this group did a lot of work. You know, they're not only about the project, some of it about the project, and sometimes assign a group assignment other than the project. Presentations, because they have to present their project and stuff like that. So they do it together. All this work is done by this group. And they're collaborating, not necessarily did it in class or submitted it in this class. They probably did it outside the class and submitted it, you know, and so on.
Okay, I think we get the idea, and now the next step really would be to get your hands dirty and to work on it. But we have another questions over there, and we do run out of time.
Short question.
Yes.
So you could invite people to join your Dropbox.
Yes, I can.
But you cannot dismiss them. If I'm in, you cannot get.
If I delete the folder, I'm dismissing them. I don't have any relationship to them.
No, but if a student have to be dismissed for any reason.
See, we still think about this as a teacher controlling something. It's not. I am like a student. I am like a member. A student can dismiss me. I can dismiss the students. I mean, it's an instance created here, instance created here. It has the same content. Okay, I just deleted my side of the, and it will show by that the students. The student still has the folder. She still have the folder, but and she probably still have the material. But I don't see the material because I deleted the file. And whatever she puts there, I cannot see, and I cannot put because I don't have the folder anymore.
No, I'm just commenting on perhaps a disadvantage of this system. It has advantage.
Oh yeah.
A disadvantage is that you have a student in the class, and this student is misbehaving, writing things which he or she should not write. You cannot get rid of this student. This is what I mean. The other students have to be bothered by this student and you.
No, I mean I cannot. If she's still in my, if she misbehave, what should I do with her? I mean, I don't understand.
The question is, can you uninvite someone that you invited? If somebody decides, I drop the class.
No. There is no complete. This is just basic, very basic system. Even if you pay money when you get their pro system and business system, I don't know, maybe they have these kind of sharing privileges and stuff like this. You can dismiss somebody, you can take somebody. I don't know. I never tried to pay for this to get to know about it. And I actually tried in the internet to search for any information about this. They usually don't tell what their system will look like if you buy it. Because they, they don't want to, I don't know why. Yes.
Just to pursue that last question a bit further, it seemed to me from what you described that if a student in a group work put something in a folder that was offensive, inappropriate material, any one of the students in the group or you could delete it.
We cannot delete it, but when this is a class. When they come next time, and for sure I will see this or the other student will see this, we will discuss it together. And we will apply whatever thing apply to the student. I don't have. I cannot dismiss it. There is no system here. This is not a program system. This is a system you make yourself. You use it with your normal teaching. It's not like Facebook or where you can do all these things. No, it's very basic. You can do whatever you want to do in.
I understood that if a student moves something from the Dropbox onto their desktop, it's gone from the Dropbox. It's like deleting it.
That's right.
So if you find something that's inappropriate, offensive, and should not be on the site, you just move it onto your desktop and it deletes it from the shared file.
That's right.
Khalas.
Yeah. That's right. See, these things I don't think they are very important to what we are. You said it's a disadvantage. You have a point of view here, but my point of view is this is needed since we are meeting every day. It's not. We can talk about it. We can apply whatever. But when you are using Facebook or something like that, you have people who don't know each other, so it's important there, but I don't think for our case it's important. That's my point of view. Yeah.
I'm too optimistic. I always think that maybe we give students a little speech, what is appropriate behavior, and then trust them that they follow this.
But they have never done that, and it's never the case. Never. No, they cannot actually. How can a student does that when they know the teacher will see and the other people will see, and even if they are of that type, they will not do it. But why people do it? Because they are sharing something with people they don't know, like in Facebook, like in other type of sharing where they don't see each other. So yeah.
We are running out of time, so if there are not more questions, I think we found something very interesting that we should follow up now with a hands-on practical session.
I will be glad to give a practical session for this whenever, anytime.
Please come back. First of all, thank you to Naif Al-Omar for this presentation.
Thank you very much, and I'm glad I had this chance. And thank you for coming and taking this time from your day. I know it's very hard.
Yeah, we have long days.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, for being a loyal audience. I will send out, as soon as we set up a session on cloud storage in general, not just Dropbox, maybe find even better solutions. And if you don't show up to our next tech series in 2 weeks, I will unbefriend you. Thank you.